It can just feel like your body is working against you and it's your greatest enemy. And I think as women who are trying to regain not just power over our bodies but a love for our body, I think it's important to show yourself patience and gentleness, because you have this thing, you have PCOS. Hello beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. I hope that you are all doing well. Today I'm going to be talking about something which was requested, which is how I manage my PCOS, also known as polycystic ovarian syndrome. Well, to be fair, that should be the other way around. If you are new around here, my name is Courtney Daniela Boating. I create content where I transparently document my glowing and growing journey, and for the last 12 months I have taken a gap year, and on that time I have been focusing a lot on my health. Not only have I been trying to lose weight, I've also been trying to get my PCOS under control. I was diagnosed with PCOS back in 2016 when I was 19 years old, after a good couple of months, nearly half a year of not having a period, and then having the most painful periods I have ever had in my life, only once a quarter. And after noticing those symptoms, I decided to take myself to the GP, and after a lot of runarounds with the NHS, gosh, God help the NHS, with a lot of runarounds and after a lot of tests, blood tests, scans, and all of that, I was diagnosed with polycystic ovarian syndrome. I have cysts on my ovaries, and it also affects my hormones. My PCOS is known as insulin resistant PCOS. That's the form that I have, and it affects different things, like I said, like my hormones, but also my ability to lose weight. It impacts how fast I gain weight. It impacts my energy levels, how tired I feel, as well as my periods. But over the last 1 year, I have seen my periods come back consistently. I have had a period once a month, and that is a big deal for me, especially as somebody who has gone very long stints of not seeing their period. And so I wanted to come and share what I have done to manage my PCOS. From the research, PCOS is something that is considered uncurable. It's something that you learn to manage and you continue to manage for the rest of your life. It can affect things like fertility. And so when I get to that bridge, I'm across it. But for now, I have been learning to manage my PCOS on a daily basis. And this is what I have been doing. I hope that it helps anybody watching, especially if you have PCOS or you recently got a diagnosis. Maybe you can take some of these tips and apply it to your own life. But please remember that PCOS is different per person. Everyone's PCOS, their symptoms are completely different. For example, I don't have acne, so I can't really give you tips on how to manage skin and facial hair and things like that, because I don't deal with that. However, somebody else here on YouTube might, and they may have shared their tips. So please collect as much information as you can, go and plug into other people's stories, show them love, and also build up your PCOS community by exposing yourself to other people's lives with PCOS. I just want to be one of many voices in your life, and it can also be very helpful to just see how PCOS manifests differently for everybody. But yeah, let's get into the video. So the first thing I wanted to address in trying to manage my PCOS and also deal with my PCOS symptoms was stress management. I cannot emphasize how important this is. Sorry, I got distracted by a plane. Am I 3 years old? If you are somebody who has PCOS, you need to understand that your body does not respond well to stress. When there is an increase of cortisol in your body, in your brain, in your chemistry, child, your body is going to be thrown into a frenzy. And so for me, managing my stress levels has really helped me to manage my PCOS symptoms. It's also helped me to deal with things which I suffered with, such as fatigue, burnout, feelings of hopelessness and stuff like that, because life was so chaotic and I was overwhelmed. It has allowed my body to rest a lot more. And when your body is in a more relaxed and calm state, you will start to see that your symptoms do begin to subside, in my opinion. I think that the more worked up you are, especially because PCOS and knowing that you have it already can be stressful. I think when you take more time to manage your stress levels, you start to see your symptoms kind of subside. And so I have done this by tip number 2, which is good sleep hygiene. I have talked about this before on my channel, but I really do think it's important for you to remember that your body needs to sleep. When you are sleeping, your body gets to be at full rest, but also there are different qualities of sleep. Just because you're lying in your bed doesn't necessarily mean you're having good sleep. Making sure that your sleep is of good quality and you are getting enough of it. Make sure that your body can recover, your hormones can settle back down again, your insulin can also be regulated, especially if you have insulin resistant PCOS. Whilst you are asleep, your blood sugars regulate themselves. And so give yourself, especially because you're not eating, and so give yourself time to have good sleep. Make sure that you have some kind of sleep routine in place. Try, if you can, to get to sleep at around the same time every day. I know it can be really difficult because we live really busy lives. Like, some of you may be mothers, some of you may be at school, you may be working, you may just struggle to get to sleep, but whatever you can do, research into sleep hygiene, and whatever you can do to make sure that your sleep can become better, do it. Try your best to get around 7 to 9 hours of sleep. I would recommend, as somebody with PCOS, to try and hit the 8 to 9 hour mark, even 10 if you can, especially if you are menstruating, just because your body really doesn't like stress, and sleep helps you to manage stress best. Play some sleep sounds if you need to, listen to some brown or white noise, light a candle, take some melatonin if you need to. Just do what you can to make sure that you get a good night of sleep almost every night, and if not every night if you can. The third thing which I have seen help with my PCOS a lot, especially over the last 18 months, has been exercise. Regularly exercising, not just to lose weight, just moving my body around has really helped me to feel a bit more energetic, to actually allow my blood to start using the sugar which I put in my body through eating foods, even whole foods. So it's important to keep yourself active and moving so that you can use up those stored energy reserves. And we all know that one thing that doesn't help PCOS that much is being, extremely overweight. And so yeah, moving your body as much as you can, well, not as much as you can, but moving your body is important. And the reason why I say don't move your body as much as you can is the type of exercises I have been doing that I have seen make the most difference have been low intensity, steady state workouts. So LISS, basically. And LISS is a form of cardio, which is kind of the opposite of HIIT or HIIT, high intensity interval training. A lot of people do HIIT, especially when they are trying to lose weight, because it burns a lot of calories efficiently in a very short amount of time. So sprinting, doing, quick circuits and stuff like that. But I've realized, because our bodies don't like stress because of PCOS, if you don't want to spike your cortisol too much, you can't be here running, jumping and doing all of that, because exercise, as great as it is a form of stress on the body. It does cause your fight or flight instinct to start to kick in. And so I do think it's important for you to try out, if you can, low intensity steady state workouts. So walking, maybe a bit of light jogging if you can. If you are overweight, do things that are going to, be favorable to your joints. We don't need you blowing your knees out because you're trying to lose weight at a rapid rate. The goal here is to get your body moving. I found with myself on this PCOS journey that there would be times where I would be so deeply sad and so deeply tired and exhausted and not really moving from my bed. And I think in terms of your mental health, it's really important for you to at least get outside, go and get some fresh air, get that serotonin, get the endorphins, get yourself spiked up on those good hormones, which can make you feel a lot better. And that can improve your mental health as well, but also just allow yourself to move around a bit. It can help with the sluggish feeling that you may have and the exhaustion. I know it sounds counterintuitive, because if I'm tired, why would I cause my body to move more? But I do think it's important for you to just try and get on the move. In terms of exercise, one thing I've been prioritizing over the last 12, 18 months as well has been strength training. I have found that lifting weights and building up muscle has also allowed my body to use up a lot of the energy that, I consume. Strength training for me has been great. And it's also been good for my mental health, because it's reminded me that I'm a badass and I am also in control of my body. I think with PCOS, it can feel like you are kind of not in control of your body. And as much as I may not be able to control when my period comes or when I'm able to get pregnant and things like that, I can definitely control trying to pick up some weight and trying to train my body to be stronger, tougher, and more enduring. And I like that feeling. I like that feeling of control that strength training gives me. And also it gives me the ability to show myself that my body is still capable of doing amazing things. So I love strength training. I do it 4 times a week. So yeah, I would highly recommend 10 out of 10. One of the biggest things that I have done over the last 18 months, and I showed it actually in my PCOS friendly morning routine, go and watch that video in the iCards above, is taking inositol. I started taking inositol or Myo Plus by Myova about 18 months ago, and it has helped me so much to manage my PCOS symptoms. And you can go on the Myova website using the link in my description. It has helped me considerably in managing things like stress, cravings, fatigue, things like that. So if you want to implement inositol into your diet, I would highly recommend it. I did a whole video on it talking about my experience with it, so I'll put it in the iCards like I mentioned. I don't think there are many supplements or medications that are really given as a solution to PCOS apart from birth control, which I think is super annoying because birth control has so many other adverse effects on our bodies as women, especially if you aren't trying to control birth, but you are using it to really like manipulate your hormones. And I think because it is oftentimes the only solution that we are given as people with PCOS, it can feel like you're kind of hopeless if you don't take it. But I do think there are other more healthy ways to keep your PCOS under control. I'm not criticizing anybody who does take birth control, because I think you've got to do what you've got to do, especially when your body's in pain or your skin is breaking out, or it feels like you can't really function when you are bleeding out so much. But I would say that inositol has been something that's also been a solution for me if you are looking for something similar to medication. It's obviously not prescriptive, and yeah, definitely do your research into it, but it has helped and it has done wonders for me. The next thing I have done is cut out consuming excess sugars. Now, like I said, my specific kind of PCOS is insulin resistant PCOS. This is what I was told when I was first diagnosed by my GP, and I have to kind of treat myself or treat my diet like I am a pre-diabetic. And so cutting out excess added sugars from my diet has been a huge help, not only for my weight and not only for my energy levels actually, but for my PCOS as well. Avoiding things like fizzy drinks that have added sugar in it. I do still drink fizzy drinks. I drink 0-calorie versions of it just because I used to be like a sugar drink addict. To say I'm going to kick it out completely was a complete myth. And so kicking out things like added sugar and, you know, reading nutrition labels to see, does this have added sugar in it, and cutting those things out has helped me a lot in trying to manage my weight and manage my blood sugar levels. And it has in turn then helped my PCOS. So I'm not talking about natural sugars like fruits and stuff like that, even though you should kind of try to limit how much of that, or not limit, but have it in moderation. I am talking more about things like ice cream, desserts, the things that we all love, sweets, candy, fizzy drinks, soda, whatever you call it, and biscuits, things like that, things which I used to really binge on back in the day. I can't really do that anymore because it doesn't work well with my body. And being honest with myself about that, and also loving my body enough to be like, you know what, girl, I know you crave it, you can have it sometimes, but don't go overboard, has definitely helped me manage my symptoms as well. And it has also helped, I think, in feeling pain around my period time. I know when you are having your period, you kind of just want to eat everything and anything you want. Our bodies sometimes go more to these high processed, high sugar foods, but I have noticed that my cramps have really subsided the more that I eat whole foods and less processed foods and sugary foods when I am on my period. So yeah, I would highly recommend that you try to cut back on the sugar. Wean yourself off, find substitutions and alternatives. Don't feel bad if you can't go cold turkey. I don't think it's even recommended to take that approach, but I would say try and lessen the amount of sugar that you intake on a daily basis. Another way I've managed my PCOS over the last few months has been being patient and gentle with my body. I've discussed this before, but I think it's important to always emphasize, sometimes when you have PCOS, it can feel like your body is working against you, and then you can get so frustrated, upset, and disappointed with your body and with your body's performance, whether you are trying to conceive, or whether you are just trying to see a period again, or maybe you are just continuously bleeding. It can just feel like your body is working against you and it's your greatest enemy. And I think as women who are trying to regain not just power over our bodies, but a love for our body, I think it's important to show yourself patience and gentleness, because you have this thing, you know, you have PCOS and it's not your fault. It's not anything that you would have asked for or prayed for, you know, but it is something that you now have to live with. And life can be enjoyed and it can be managed with PCOS, but sometimes some days are going to look ugly, and it's okay to cry. It's okay to feel upset, but don't beat yourself up about it, because this thing might not be gone tomorrow, you know, symptoms might not change for a while. And so show yourself gentleness. If you need to take, you know, some time off from work, if you need to work from home, if you need to adjust your life and your social schedule to be able to take care of your body, then do that, right? Put yourself first when you can, and have community around you who can help you to do that, who can be understanding of the fact that, hey, I might not be at my best today, my mood might be off today, or my energy and performance may be off today because I'm just in this weird place in my cycle, or this is what's going on with my body. Have that clear-cut communication, but please, please, please be patient and gentle with yourself, baby girl. And the last thing I kind of wanted to talk about, and I didn't want to make this too much of a big point, but I do think it has helped to a degree, is losing weight. Now, the reason why I say this is I think people can become very, very obsessed with weight loss when it comes to dealing with PCOS. But I think more than just losing weight, the way that you lose weight has more of an impact on your PCOS, in my opinion. If you go into the gym and you're lifting weights 7 times, you know, a week, and you aren't sleeping well, and you've cut your calories in half to the point where your body can't even sustain you and nourish you and keep you alive or keep you energetic, and if you are here doing, you know, high intensity workouts every day, whilst your body may seem like it's losing weight at first, you're going to hit a bit of a wall, and then you're going to get frustrated with yourself when you hit that wall. It's important for you to not put your body under too much stress, and that means that weight loss could take a bit longer for you than it does other people. And I know this is something that a lot of women with PCOS complain about, and we talk about a lot, which is the fact that we don't lose weight as fast as any other person. And trust me, I have been there. I spent the first 6 months of this year in a weight plateau, getting frustrated with myself, slashing my calories further and further into a deficit so that I could lose the weight that I wanted. But the truth of the matter is, above just losing weight, I have a priority of actually making sure that my wellness and my health is my first and number one priority. And so doing that means that I have to actually nourish myself. And if that means being like, okay, I'm going to take this weight loss thing at the rate at which it comes, that's okay too. And so I do think that losing weight has been a big help. Like, it has been a major help to have lost, you know, close to about 40 pounds. But I do think that the way I have done it has impacted me more, and has allowed me to see results more than just being so obsessed with the number on the scale. And so doing things like low intensity, steady state, making sure that I go on walks regularly, only doing 4 lifting workouts, but making sure my form is on point and I'm getting stronger and stronger, my muscles are growing, making sure that I am eating well, even though I'm eating in a deficit, I'm eating whole foods, I'm eating foods that help me to feel full, that do help me manage my cravings, foods which I like, has also proven to me that I don't need to punish myself just because I need to lose weight. And in turn, I don't need to punish myself just because I have PCOS and I need to get it under control. And so yeah, I hope that this video has been helpful. I hope that those tips helped you, and my love and my prayers go out to everybody who has, you know, received a PCOS diagnosis this year, or is just, you know, living with PCOS. There is light at the end of the tunnel. And I just hope that you put some of these things in place if you can, try them out. And I do hope that they allow you to manage your symptoms a lot better. You have got this, sis. Definitely find some other people in the comments or here on YouTube who you can watch, who have PCOS, who can prove to you that life can still be great. Yeah, drop any tips that you have down below if you are somebody who has found, you know, some things to do or things to take to help you manage your PCOS. But I'll talk to you in my next video. Please make sure to subscribe to my channel. As you can see, it's getting very, very dark. So it's time for me to go, but I will talk to you soon. And as always, stay beautiful and stay blessed. Mwah.